I wish I had better news to start the show after coming back from the Veterans Day long weekend, but sadly, we have to talk about the Typhoon Haiyan and the death toll that in the Philippines is climbing into the thousands officially, and even by one estimate, could be far more than that. Euronews and the CBC are reporting that unofficially, the strongest recorded tropical cyclone to make landfall, Typhoon Haiyan, had wind speeds up to 315 kilometers per hour. That's about 195 miles per hour. Caused huge devastation in the Philippines, particularly on Samar Island and Leyte, where the governor estimated that 10,000 people may have died in the city of Tacloban alone. Officially, the confirmed death toll about an hour ago, Lewis, was 1774, with at least 2487 hurt. $25 million has been released by the United Nations Humanitarian Affairs Office for aid. Vietnam is now bracing for the arrival of the typhoon. This is just untold levels of devastation, Lewis. Stories of bodies piled up in the streets. It's just horrible.
Yeah, and every time, this is of course very early, and unfortunately, every time we hear that thousands may be dead after something of this magnitude, it's usually tens of thousands, and I expect that to skyrocket. And I just hope that they can get the aid they need.
Not only that, 800,000 people have been evacuated from northern Vietnam and they've been moved to shelters in what are considered to be safe zones. So we also have to hope that it will be weaker when it gets to Vietnam. It may be happening now as we speak. Hopefully the preparations are sufficient to reduce casualties, hopefully to none at all. Whenever there's an incident like this, you start hearing some portion of people, Lewis, who say, well, people shouldn't even live in these areas. And sometimes this applies to Florida in the US. Sometimes people say nobody should really be living in Southern California, what with the earthquake problem. I just don't think it's pragmatic or practical at all, right? Yes, it's true that at some point Florida may be completely underwater. It's unlikely that it would just simply happen overnight with absolutely no warning. Is it ever really practical or productive at all to start talking about no one should live in any area that could have a natural disaster?
This storm could cover an entire country in the area it hit. I mean, what are you going to do next? Say that no one should live in that country? It's a little ridiculous. Although I will agree that nobody should live in Florida, but it has nothing to do with global warming or weather.
Right. And how many years did you live in Florida? You lived there until you were like 8 and then again for college?
Well, from when I was like 3 to 7, and then for about a year for college. Yeah.
All right. So Lewis certainly has his share of Florida experience. Okay. We're going to keep following the typhoon. Hopefully there won't be equally horrifying news to report tomorrow after the Vietnam landfall.